Honourable member for Saskatoon Grasswood.
Bravo.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Everyone agrees that Canada needs a modernized Broadcasting Act that fits today's digital age. Unfortunately, Liberal Bill C11 is another in a long line of bad Liberal bills. C11 creates more red tape for businesses and creators, puts more control in the hands of the incompetent CRTC, and opens up a Pandora's box of internet regulation. If passed, C11 could give the government the power to decide what Canadians can and cannot post on their social media profiles. C11 is going to limit consumer choice, drive up prices, create further uncertainty for Canadian businesses and creators, and limit the free expression of all Canadians. It's time this government to scrap C11 and get back to the drawing board once and for all.
Honourable member for Perth Wellington.
Mr. Speaker, Conservatives care about Canadian creators, but the Liberals continue to ignore the negative impacts of C11. This morning, digital creator and 47-year-old skateboarding mom, Orby Roy, told this to the committee. Not only does this bill not help me, it hurts me and actively undermines my needs. Wow. I have never gotten a seat at the table, except now as a digital creator, I'm getting a seat at the table. Representation matters. Please don't suppress my voice." End quote. Mr. Speaker, will the government do the right thing and fully exempt user-generated content and remove Section 4.2 from Bill C11?
The Honourable Minister for Canadian Heritage.
Well, Mr. Speaker, let's talk about representation. Yesterday, we heard a troubling revelation at committee. Our organization dedicated to opposing Bill C11 admitted that it was paid by YouTube and TikTok, but they claim to represent exactly that, digital creators saying they're grassroots. That's called astroturfing. And of course, this was never, ever revealed before. And it raises serious question, Mr. Speaker. Did the Conservatives know this when they invited that organization?
Member for Perth Wellington.
Well, Mr. Speaker, what Conservatives know is that we will always stand up for our creative industries and fight on their behalf so we can see Canadian creators succeed here at home and around the globe. Yesterday at committee, communications expert Monica Auer said gaps in C11 will make current serious problems with CRTC's transparency, accountability, and timing even worse. Wow. Court challenges of its implementation by CRTC will create long delays and cost Canada and those working in its creative sectors quite dearly. Mr. Speaker, will the government stand up for new creative industries and admit that their strategy is flawed and fully exempt user-generated content?
The Minister.
We are, Mr. Speaker, standing up for them. We are, like we're standing up for other cultures workers, for our producers, for our actors, for our technicians, something they can't do. They cannot say, yes, we're going to support Bill C11 because it's important to tell our stories, because it's important for music, because it's important for television. They never said that, and they never will, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member, l'Honorable Député de Richmond-Arthabasca.
The Honourable Member for Richmond-Arthabasca. Mr. Speaker, the Liberals claim that user-generated content in C11 will be exempted from regulation, but it is clearly written that the CRTC could regulate any content that generates direct or indirect revenue. That means that almost all content could be regulated, which is something that experts are concerned about. Can the Minister clearly tell us that all user-generated content will be exempted? Yes or no? The Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage. Mr. Speaker, I've been very clear from day one. Platforms will have obligations, not users. Platforms are in, users are out. It's been clear from the very beginning. My question, and I have a lot of respect for my colleague, but he's from Quebec, and he knows how important this bill is for Quebec. And yet, for some reason, he's refusing to support the government in its efforts to support the French language and Quebec culture. I'm surprised and disappointed.